Love and blessings, peace and prosperity, divine, beautiful soul. Get out your cup because I'm about to pour you some tarot brew. I have gems of wisdom and advice from none other than the Eight of Swords. Cosmic connection is Jupiter and Gemini. And let's just be real. Going through an Eight of Swords chapter in your life is tough. It sucks. Most definitely. When this card comes up, it's an affirmation that you have the power to choose again. So with that Jupiter and Gemini energy, Jupiter's coming along and it's like, hey, babe, you don't have to stay stuck like this. You don't have to stay frozen. You don't have to stay like immobile from not only your thoughts of insecurity and your fears and your doubts of worthiness, and also the fears, doubts, and insecurities of other people. I think this is one of the things that we miss out about this card. It's an energy that not only when we've gotten in our own way, but people and their caca has seeped into our bodies and into our minds. And so that, along with our own SHIT, freezes. We get frozen. And so this card is such a strong card to remind you how you can take responsibility for your healing, for your life. And that's not to say that caca stuff doesn't happen. And it's not to be like spiritual bypassing and all love and light. No, not at all. But this card is like the journey ahead into the unknown may be turbulent and may be hard at times. However, it is so worth it. Because staying the same is like a slow soul death. This is a card of initiation to say, are you willing to trust that there is something greater out there for you? That there is something that can really, really activate the true, like, abundance of wealth and knowledge and joy and wisdom within you and all around you. This is an 8. 8 and the major arcana is connected to the strength card as well as the star card. So those are the two really big things that we need when we're going through this type of vibe. Strength and courage and hope. Hope of possibilities. We see the connection to the star card in this card because she has 1 foot in water and 1 foot on land. The water is a stream, but if we look closely, the stream leads back to the larger body of water in the background. And so that's a message that we are always connected to higher source. We always can call forth upon our guides, our angels, ancestors of the most ascended form, as well as we have connection to community. You don't have to go through this by yourself. Right now, when you're in this moment, it feels like you're by yourself because you have to take the first step forward because no one's going to come to save you but yourself. But as you take the first step forward and then you take another step and you take another step, you'll realize your people are there for you. Your crew is there for you. Community will come forth in ways that you did not expect. The strength card and the star card are those two anchors that help guide the way to take the step forward. You know, this card reminds me too of that sometimes, I think many times, we may make choices and we go down our path in life. And then slowly life starts chipping away at us. And then we think, I thought this is what I wanted, but I don't want this anymore. So, take a look closely. There's a castle in the background. You see that? It's a castle. We see the tower there. This card reminds me of it. She wasn't held hostage. I'm not saying this is like a crime or anything like this, but she ventured there. She made choices and she lived in the castle. And she thought that that's what she wanted. But through time, being in that castle, although, quote unquote, there was safety and security, maybe there's food, and she was not in the wild unknown of the terrain outside of the castle. But being in the castle was slowly chipping away at what she dreamed of, what her truest desires were. Being in the castle was so constraining. And at one point in time, she said, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what's out there, but I'm going to start to venture. And it's like she's already made it this far. She's past these swords. And she could turn around. She could say, you know what? This has been a hard road so far. I don't know what's out there. Do I stay or do I turn around? And she has the choice to turn around. But then she has to ask herself, is it worth it? Is the quote-unquote safety and security worth existing in this state of being where I can't even see what the possibilities are? I can't even be able to see beauty and joy, and I feel so captive and so constrained. Is that worth it? And only if you're going through something like that, only you know the answer to that. But this is like that energy that it's okay to choose again. Like sometimes we make choices and we think we want something and we wind up there and then we're like, I don't want this anymore. Like this doesn't serve me any longer. And it's a reminder that you have the power, but you're the one that's going to have to make the choice. And although no one's going to come to save you, as you flee, as you start to go, as you start to venture out and trust in that Jupiterian energy. Calm the chatter in your head, the chatter in your body. Know that you are worth total liberation and freedom of expression and of love and abundance and joy and all the good stuff. You start to take those steps and you start to feel empowered. And although no one's going to make you take those first steps, once you start to do it, I'm telling you, people, places, and things will all start to come to be. So you might say, okay, great, here's that message. How do I even do it? Like, how, if I'm going through an Eight of Swords moment, like, how do I even decipher what's real and what's not? And one of the ways is writing. Write out what could go right. And sometimes when we acknowledge and we say what could go wrong and we identify the fears, the insecurities of the unknown, when we see them written out, we're like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Like, wait a minute, I'm making up the story in my head. So the Eight of Swords, a card of personal empowerment and of choice connected to the Strength card and the Star card, lets us know that we have the strength, courage to step out into the known. It's an emergence. It's emerging from what no longer honors our soul. It's emerging from this bondage that moved us further away from the truth of our souls. Not easy. And I guarantee you, though, it is so worth it. So, thank you for tuning in. I hope if you're going through an Eight of Swords moment that you find ways to be able to alchemize and dance and take those first steps. There's a song by the Eagles. I forgot what song it is, but it's something like, so oftentimes it happens that we live our life in chains and we never even knew we had the key. Cheers. I hope you find your keys and I hope you dance freely. And know it's an abundant universe. No matter what's going on around you, it is. Find ways to tap into the abundance, love, joy, peace, prosperity, and all that good stuff within you and all around you. Thanks for tuning in. Mad love.